There is presently a mode of bus transport that is gaining popularity and acceptance by the riding public. It's called P2P or point-to-point bus system, wherein passengers are picked up in a specific point to be transported to a specific predetermined area. On Motoring Forum this week, we have invited Mr. Robert C., a senior advisor for planning of the DOTC, to give us some insights into this rapidly developing mode of transport. Good afternoon, Mr. C., and welcome once again to Motoring Today.
Good afternoon, Butch, and to all the viewers of Motoring Today.
Early this year, bus riders were introduced to this novel way of commuting in Metro Manila, known as P2P or point-to-point bus system. To begin with, kindly explain to our viewers what is the P2P bus system, and if I'm not mistaken, the first route was that which starts at the Alabang Town Center and ends in Greenbelt 1. At the moment, can you name the other routes that are currently being served by P2P buses?
You know, Butch, your viewers who are as old as you and I will remember the Love Bus from the 1980s. And this was a very convenient service for everyone. You could go from point to point in an air-conditioned bus, and the dispatches were very reliable. Now, this is something that we're trying to replicate again today, and we have 6 routes. Actually, one of those you've already mentioned, Alabang to Makati. We also will be having another one, Alabang to Ortigas. And there is also 4 other routes that are in place or will be in place very soon. One which is very successful is North EDSA to Makati and North EDSA to Ortigas. That's been operating, if you recall, already since December, since the Christmas holidays. And we will also be having a service from Fairview to Ortigas and from Ortigas to Makati. So with this initial collection of point-to-point buses, we hope, it will be a very convenient service for everybody.
Do tell us, Mr. C., to what do you account the rising popularity of P2P buses from the point of view of passengers, and from where you stand, what do you think are the advantages of this novel way of transporting commuters?
Butch, today we recognize that commuting is a very, very difficult experience, daily experience for everyone. Some have to wait, long hours to catch a bus. Lines at the MRT are also quite long. We want to offer a convenient alternative not only for commuters, but especially for car users. We want to reduce the number of cars on the road because we recognize that one big reason for increasing traffic congestion is just the population also of cars on the road. We need to find a convenient alternative for everybody, whether you own a car, motorcycle, or whether you're an ordinary commuter every day. So P2P bus gives you convenient and reliable service. There is a dispatch from the terminals every 10 minutes in some cases during peak hours, but more often than not every 15 minutes. You also have comfort of riding in an air-conditioned bus with Wi-Fi, and in the future we will also have buses with CCTV for added passenger safety. The buses that we were also specifying are what we call PWD friendly. They are what we call low entry buses, so that people can get on the bus without taking so many steps. Today our normal buses on EDSA, you need to take about 4 or 5 steps to get into the bus. Not possible for some senior citizens, not possible for the disabled, not possible maybe for people with strollers or who are carrying large packages. But the buses that we are offering now for P2P, and very soon the normal buses for P2P will all be what we call low entry buses. So this will actually introduce a very convenient form of bus service for our commuting public.
Now, how are bus operators reacting to this new kind of business approach of hiring salaried drivers? Do they find it more viable than the prevalent boundary system?
That's a very good question, Butch. Today we have many interested bus operators who see this as a way to modernize our bus industry. For one, we are able to bring in or specify buses that have new features, especially low emission. Also, you have the opportunity to pay drivers on a fixed salary and benefit basis. Because the buses operate point to point, there is no incentive or motivation to compete for passengers at every bus stop. As you know, today, one of our problems with EDSA traffic is because bus operators and bus drivers are waiting for passengers at every bus stop. If we have a point-to-point bus, you have the opportunity to compensate your drivers a different way, and we hope that this can become the model also for our future bus services. We are also requiring that our P2P buses accept stored value cards. So fare collection can also be simplified and more convenient for our passengers. So this is one way the bus industry can also introduce many innovations and also move to a different business model.
Now, for entrepreneurs who may be interested to go into the business, what are the requirements and what are they supposed to do to engage in the enterprise?
One of the requirements that we have is you must have both technical and financial capability. We want to offer a premium service. Unless we offer a high quality service, we won't achieve our objective of attracting car users to shift to bus services. So we need to have also bus companies that have the management capacity as well as the financial capacity to bring in the management systems to operate reliable and convenient services, but they also need to have the financial capability to procure new buses that have all these added features. So we are looking to the bus industry to explore the possibility of consolidating. We feel that if you are a small bus operator, maybe you could join forces with other small bus operators and then get into this new type of service. We feel that this is really one way we can raise the quality of our services in the bus sector.
And finally, Mr. C, would you have any message to the commuters and bus operators regarding this newly introduced P2P or point-to-point bus system?
What I can say, Butch, is if you haven't tried it yet, please try the P2P bus service. You may be pleasantly surprised. When we surveyed our commuters, we found that almost 100% of them would recommend it to a friend and would also ride it again. And what we find is that once people try using this new type of bus service, they use it again and again every day because they find it safe, comfortable, convenient. Why pay tolls? Why fight for parking? Why stress out on the road? Use a P2P bus, sit in a comfortable seat, relax, sleep, use your devices with the free Wi-Fi, and make your commuting journey part of the best part of your day. We want that to be the experience of our commuter. Commuting should be a pleasurable experience, and that's what we want to replicate with the P2P bus.
Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you, Butch, and happy motoring.
Mr. Robert C., Senior Advisor for Planning of the DOTC, with some insights into the now getting to be popular point-to-point bus system. Our guest this week on Motoring Today's Motoring Forum.